For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the schemes and rulers and against the powers and the forces of this world and darkness, against the spiritual forces of weaknesses in heavenly places. And that part preaches we can battle against that enemy. We can crush that devil in the face. That preaches strong. But then verse 13, it says, therefore, take on the full armor of God. And every time you see it, therefore, you have to look to see what it's there for. So Paul says, therefore, take on the full armor of God so that you may be able to resist him in the evil day, and having done everything to stand firm. Verse 14, stand firm. Notice that Paul is saying you have to rush in all the time. You don't have to be one who conquers. You are more than a conqueror. You're a helper. You're a friend. And so I started thinking about, God, what does that truly mean? And what are you really trying to communicate here in this particular situation? And I realized that there is nothing in this world that will overcome us if we have the armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, all these different things. If we can have these things in our lives, we can't be overcome because those things allow the Spirit of God to come into our hearts and into our lives. And if we have the Spirit of God, there's nothing that can overcome us, right? All right, you're awake. Good. Okay. So nothing can overcome us. So why is it, even a battle? Why is it even a contest? And then I started to think about something. You see, as I shared with you a little bit earlier, my son started playing football. And probably 2 weeks into it, it was the second weekend or something like that, there was a coach on the field. And this particular coach has a bit of a swagger about how he walks and how he handles things. And he's a shouter, and he's a yeller, and he's a motivator. And he really gets tough. Not so much in anybody's face, but he's loud, and he lets you know that he probably played football at one point in his thing. And so he was walking through the thing, and he's doing warm-ups. And he says something to one of the smallest kids on the field, one of the smallest little boys on the field. He says something and does something to this kid that I instantly was displeased with. And I sat there in my chair and I said to myself in my inner monologue, if that dummy ever comes close to my son and tries to say or do that thing, I will get up out of this chair, I will run across this field, and that guy will not know what hit him. And I know that's not the pastoral response that you would expect from me. And that's not Reverend Curry, that's mess you up Curry. That's the guy that ate the extra Snickers for a reason, because I needed to get a little bit bigger. And so as I'm sitting there and I'm fuming and I'm thinking, I'm realizing that I should be turning the other cheek. But I don't care, because that joker's about to hit the ground. Just get close. Is he getting close? I almost wanted him to. Go ahead, say something. Let me get out of this chair. I'm fighting now. I'm ready. And meanwhile, I'm like this. But inside, I'm ready to go. And my main point is that if I don't get it, this dude is big too. Like, this is a strong looking dude. And I mean, he has the walk and he does the thing. But to be honest, if I confronted this individual, he would make me look like some skinny 7th grade nerd getting ready to get stuffed into a locker. Dude is big, he is strong. I don't want to mess with him. I shouldn't be anywhere near him. In fact, if I look at him weird, I might find myself in trouble. It's that kind of thing where I'm like, oh, he's looking at me. I'm good. So my main point is that I need to sneak attack him before I really get a drop on him. Okay, that's not my main point. My main point is nothing pulls me out of my Christianity faster than relationships and emotions that are connected to them. And I firmly believe that Paul decides to talk about relationships and the armor of God because the enemy knows, the devil knows, if he can find that way to tweak you out of your armor, if the devil can make me so mad I'm willing to take off my helmet and run through a wall, he doesn't even have to get in the way. I'll knock my own self out on the floor if I take off my helmet. If I take off my breastplate, if I lay my armor down and go into battle, I'll lose. because I don't take the Spirit of God with me. So Paul says you need to make sure that you check your relationships. You need to make sure you understand the hierarchy of how your relationships go, because how your relationships are and the connectivity of each other is so important to your armor and to your battle. Because if you allow the enemy to come in like a flood, if you allow him to manipulate you and to use the emotions of all these relationships around you, you'll take your armor off and beat yourself with a stick. You'll defeat yourself. It won't even be a